Hi there. How are you? I hope everyone is well. I am in a weird sort of mood. I end up in a weird sort of mood a lot of the time, it seems. Not much to talk about tonight. Having maybe some frustration with work, but, that's how things go. You can't always love everything about your job. I think also I come off as being a bit weird at work. Part of the reason for that is I tend to approach life from the standpoint of humor. Life should be made fun of. That the stings and unpleasantness of life can be lessened by a joke, a jab, a little tomfoolery, if you will. Now, that does make me a little weird. And you add into that, I am absolutely unafraid to, demonstrate that I'm smart. That sounds like bragging, but so many people, I've seen it happen, will play dumb to fit in. They will try and act like they're not as smart as they actually are, so they can fit in with the group that they're with. And that is something I don't do well. I can do it, but it takes effort. And I don't really feel like spending that effort. I read books. I read Wikipedia for fun. I'm a weirdo. I accept this and I embrace it and I don't hide it. And I've seen people at work who do, and it kind of bugs me when they do. But, they're ashamed of being smart for some reason. I don't get that. Anyway. I love working in places where I don't have to do that. Where I'm not the weirdo because I know a few things and I can, crack a joke once in a while. The other thing that gets me some attention at work is my voice. I am well-spoken, and I have a clear, deep voice. And I've had some practice with it. I've learned how to talk. I've learned how to enunciate and make the most out of my voice. And working on a phone, that's actually somewhat useful. So I tend to maximize that. When I answer the phone, it's, "Hello, thank you for calling. This is Jeremiah speaking. How may I assist you today?" And this sort of stuns the sort of jaded customer into, wait, what's going on? Because they're not used to it. And it helps me to control the call, which in a call center is a thing that you need to do. Now, that said, it does get me some weird comments from time to time. I've had little old ladies hitting on me, which is a little weird. I'm not going to lie. And I've had a number of people tell me, "You should be on the TV." And because you've got a great voice, you should be one of their presenters. To which my response is usually something along the lines of, "Well, I do have a voice for radio. I also have a face for radio." Note, that's not a compliment. Anyways, I love doing the voice stuff, and, occasionally I take a swing at trying to figure out if there's a way I could get a job doing, radio, actual radio, or maybe voiceovers or something. And invariably I'm in the wrong place, and I don't know the right people, and I don't have the right background. A lot of people who are serious theater people end up in that kind of work, and I don't have a serious theater background. I've done a little bit of theater here and there, but I'm not a serious actor. But I do use my voice when I'm role-playing a lot, and that's where I get to express it sometimes. But yeah, I'd love to find a job where I can just talk for a living. Wouldn't that be nice? Where I could be paid to sound like I'm well-spoken and intelligent. That'd be neat. I like jobs where I actually get to know stuff. That is what I'm paid to do, is knowing stuff and doing stuff and making stuff. And yeah, I guess I have some frustration with my work because right now I don't get paid to do any of those things. So there's that. Yeah, it's sad. It's not a terrible job. I've had worse. There are some good people there, and I don't mind working with them. And I wish I made more money, but that's going to be always a problem. Back to the using the voice role-playing things. I know plenty of LARPers who don't get into character until they get into costume, till they put on the clothing of the character that they're going to be playing, or put on the makeup if they're playing a makeup race. They don't become that person until they can achieve the physical connection there. For me, it's the voice. I can become Piotr Zimie because I talk like this all the time, and then suddenly I'm that character, and I can think like him, and I can move like him, and I can approach life like him, because that is what Piotr does. And, I can talk like that and become that character. I can become Mortimer Underhill and talk like this all of the time, because that's how he talks. And then my mind changes a little, and I begin to understand how he thinks and how he approaches life. The stillness of the character, the way he feels outside. This is expressed when I take on his voice, his halting speech patterns, as if he has to consider everything he says very carefully. But also because he's half whispering all the time, and also the sort of deliberate creepiness to the voice. And then I can go back to myself by just simply talking like I do. Sometimes I play bombastic characters, and everything is deep and resonant, and you should listen to me because I talk like this all the time. And then other times I play characters with strange accents and odd affectations to their voice, and you get something about the character by the sound of their voice. Somebody who sounds like this has had a lot of miles to travel. So I use my voice when I roleplay. And I use my voice to sort of get into a mental position to do the things I want to do. So sometimes, if you'll hear me at work, I'm like this because I want them to think I'm bigger than life. I want them to be dazzled a little bit because I want them to stop with their preconceptions. They go in thinking they're going to get some tired guy at work who's just there to take their call and, hates their job. And when they hear somebody who sounds bombastic and sort of grandiose, it interferes with their preconception. I don't know why I went off on the voice tonight. Just seemed like the thing to talk about. Anyways, I hope you all are having a good night. I hope all of you stay safe, talk to one another, and have a bit of fun with your voice and how you use it. If you stop and think about the sound of your own voice, it's weird. Most people can't stand to hear their recording of themselves because they don't understand what they sound like. I've been doing this long enough to know what I sound like, and I'm not bothered by it anymore. But the first few times, it was rough for me, too. I was like, really? I sound like that? And you never sound to yourself. You never sound as cool as you sound to other people. But if you stop to pay attention to how you sound and how you use your voice, it will give you an interesting perspective on how you relate to other people. Anyway, I'm going to let that be the last word. Subscribe, like, share with all the peoples, and I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.